people think you're hiding? Here are your options, and I'll see what you're reading.
Okay.
Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 1, what do people think you're hiding? People think that you're hiding your voice, your truth. I feel like you've never really spoken up about a lot of things, and this is your time to shine. The depth of your feelings, plural, is actually shocking. Your inner siren was secret, but now that's all about to change. Join me for your subsequent reading in 3, 2, 1. Welcome. Pile number 1. What do people think you're hiding? If you're new here, I hope that you find something that is helpful or encouraging. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, I am ever so grateful for you. Thank you guys so very much. Pile number 1. You have... I'm like, stop. A familiar. Not me wanting to cry right off the bat with the first card. Stop. Yeah. Anyways, you have a familiar. And pile number 1, you have sacred vows. Well, maybe we should look at these together. Now, first off, I'm definitely noticing all of the purple, all the vibrant purples on here. You know, and this can mean many different things, but it could be like maybe you did have a pet that just crossed over like I did. And so if you have, then I'm super sorry. That's so difficult. But I'm going to say that you definitely, people think that you're hiding really deep bonds, really close relationships. I definitely feel like maybe even perhaps it takes somebody crossing over in order for other people to be informed or to understand how much that person meant to you, if that makes any sense whatsoever, okay? So it could be one of those things. Maybe you're not big on PDA, public displays of affection, right? But you are more private about things and you prefer like one-on-one interactions. I definitely feel like however you lead your life, it's something that fosters a lot, not only just a deep emotional bond, but with the number 4, this is your cornerstone. This is how you handle life in general and the things that help you feel secure. So there's got to be a depth, a reciprocal energy, a knowingness about one another, a mutual respect. It's got to be something also that you can communicate your deepest and darkest, and that they will protect your confidence just as well as you're going to protect theirs. Now, I know that that sounds really fundamental and kind of hokey, but let me tell you that this world, day and age, it is not like that. People are quick to disrespect. People are quick to throw people under the bus. I was even thinking of this influencer who decided to do something with another influencer, right? They're going to try to make some content together, and they went out to eat, and someone DM'd this other content creator and said, hey, for $100, you know, ruin her meal and get a rise out of her, basically. And I forget who, if you know who they are, please put it in the comments below. But so basically for $100, this other content creator, you know, stuck his hands in the girl's food before they can even start to eat. And it was so disrespectful. And it wound up being a grand mess. And I think that it should have been handled differently. But anyways, he sold that relationship, you know, that contract that he made, whether verbal or on paper or otherwise. They were going to film together, you know, and the gist of it is you lift me up, I lift you up, and let's see if we can build together and get, you know, something different out of this, something better. And it wasn't that way. So it just really wound up highlighting her crashing out, and rightly so. And I don't blame her. But anyways, I definitely feel like it has that energy about it that, you know, people are so really quick to betray others and to be disloyal, to really talk smack about each other and things like that, that really, in the end, we take like social media as serious life, and we try to implement that in our own lives, only to really realize that, I mean, if you can't even trust the person that you're rubbing elbows with for 20 minutes because they're going to backbite you, then really who can you trust? And it's ridiculous. So I feel like what people are hiding is that maybe you're really protective of your close relationships. Maybe you don't allow people to come close. Like maybe if you're on social media, you shield your children, you never feature your kids. That would be, a wise move to make, in my opinion. But people are really curious about what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel secure. Do you have a lover or a family or family members that really, hold you, I don't know, that they hold a sacred space with you? Yeah, and sacred vows with commitment. So people think that maybe perhaps that you have a commitment that is hidden from other people's eyes, that is hidden from public view. Maybe perhaps it's something that you speak about it in a vague manner, like, oh, once in a while you can reference like your partner. Well, my partner gave me this. And then they're like, wait a minute, you have a partner? So I feel like people really carefully monitor, and I do get monitoring spirits, by the way. Monitor your words, monitor your behavior, your actions, and look for signs. If you're posting content and pictures, let it be known that people are zooming in, right? Let's get in there like we like to do, and look at the background and the details. And you know what? Personally, I ain't got time for that. If you want me to know, then tell me. And if you don't want me to know, then I have a lot of my own business to mind. So I don't really care, right? And I feel like it's not that I don't care. I just feel like we should mind our own business, period. But that's my own personal preference. So I feel like people think that you are hiding a partner, a loved one, somebody perhaps that, you're in a real relationship with. So people feel like you're hiding this, and why would it be their business? Well, who knows? Honestly, let me just disclaimer this really quick, but I just feel like when people start talking like, well, what are you hiding? It makes me laugh because I'm like, do you not have your own business to tend to? You have like nothing else going on in your life. So not everything is public knowledge for everyone. Okay. And so that's what I'm going to say about that. But anyways, moving on. Pile number 1. What do people think that you are hiding? Yeah. And this one jumped out. If you watch it pre-shuffle, this one straight jumped out. It flipped over. So I'm like, well, I guess we're taking it. True love, come to me. True love shall come to me, and as I do will, so mote it be. Okay, so with the number 26. So maybe perhaps people think that you are doing like spell work or spell casting in order to bring true love to you. Or maybe perhaps this is simply stating that you have found true love in your life, whether it's through pets, through people, through community, through, I heard it takes a village to raise a child. So whatever that looks like to you, okay, keep in mind we're really individual in spite of what social media wants to press upon people. Pile number 1, you are nothing but different if you are anything. And the interesting part is that I just feel like you hold a higher standard of value, okay? And this kind of perplexes other people because they're like, well, you wouldn't sell it for $100 to ruin somebody's meal? And no, the hell? So I just think that your high standards kind of make people feel puzzled. Those people that were trained in front of like the Kardashians where, whatever, however you feel about them. But my point is that everything sparkly and shiny is of more value than anything that is planted, that you water, that you watch growing. I mean, none of those people really spent time on the garden anyways, from the episodes that I saw. And if they did, we wouldn't watch it because it's not entertaining. And so I feel like it's a catch-22, right? But I digress. Pile number 1, I definitely feel like also you could be somebody who is maybe wearing pink more or being attracted to that color more. Pink is definitely not my color, but I've really liked it a lot more. So I would say in the past month, maybe. I don't know. But anyways, I digress. So pile number 1, if you are liking these kind of readings, please do take a moment to like, share, comment, subscribe. I did have to bring back out the wolf pellet, which is, not real, of course, but I don't know. It's near spooky season, and after all the things this month, it just felt appropriate to change more of a scenery of winterized, I don't know, staging for my table. Neither here nor there. So what do people think that you, pile number 1, are hiding? You have intuition. So right off the bat, I feel like you are definitely a bridge between two worlds. I definitely feel like you have really powerful intuition. Now, this is what kind of cracks me up is like people feel like with intuition, they need to blab everything that they know. It's not even about that. It's why do we even need to talk about it? If you intuitively know something, keep it pushing. If you know somebody is bad for you, if you know that they're not a good person to have around, if you know that they are lying about what it is that they're doing, listen, I don't have the time to dig through your finances, dig through your social media to expose this person and that and prove that they're lying. I mean, who cares about that, honestly? And so I definitely feel like your intuition is on point, that gut instinct. And I feel like people around you just know that your intuition is on point. But the interesting part and the caveat to that is they want to know exactly what you know about them. They want you to, I hear, come clean. What do you know about me? And it's almost like, well, you asking for free reading? What are we doing here? You know? It's very perplexing. So I don't know, but something about you just speaks like authority and intuition. And you're definitely somebody who gets downloads from the spirit world. Now, maybe perhaps, again, you've spoken about this to people in passing, or you pointed out things because they're relevant at the moment or relevant to the situation, right? But again, I feel like you are... you can gap that bridge. You're the bridge, the gap from one side to the other, from spirit to this world. And even I think that you're privy to people's emotions. Even I feel like people are scared of you, okay? Pile number one, I definitely feel like you could have some people that are kind of terrified. They're like, oh my gosh, what does pile number one know? And it's like, it's not even that big of a deal. I feel like those of us that are intuitive, when we have our intuition, our gut instinct, it gets proven over and over and over again. After a while, we just kind of like, oh, okay, because look at this third eye popping right here. It's like this one knows. And what is on your throat chakra? I feel like you're only going to speak about things that is golden, that is necessary, that maybe would help people prosper or protect other people, but you're going to pick your moments. It's not about like, the show off. You don't have the show off factor. Let me show you what I can do. Who cares? I think that you're kind of beyond that, the show and tell and the novelty of let me show you everything shiny that I own. And it's like, well, okay. Do we really have time to go over all that? So you could be around a lot of people that are submerged in this 3D world that think that the only thing that's really important is what is in front of their eyeballs and what manifests in a 3D fashion, right? But I think that you're definitely very different from that. And people get perplexed by that. And they want to be privy into your inner world. They also want to know, like, how do you feel about that emotionally? Like the things that you digest, the things that you intuitively know. How do you digest all of that? So maybe we'll do a Q&A at some point. I'm thinking of going live on a regular basis so that I can get in the rhythm of it, and maybe we can break up, I get the flow, the energy of my channel a little bit to open it up a little bit more for other people. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think about that. Doing lives, would you be interested anyways? Pile number one, adventure. Yes. I love this. Look at her, how I feel like she's like surfing on a butterfly almost. And this is just incredibly beautiful. You could be traveling. You could be getting your passport. You could be updating your passport. You could perhaps even be looking at your passport going, look at all the stamps that I got. That's so cool. Well, I need to fill this area because it looks kind of lonely and I feel a trip coming up. But for a lot of you guys, I feel like people think that you are hiding all the travel that you do, maybe all the trips that you make, and maybe you don't post anything on social media. And then like a year or two later, you're like, that one time I went to Paris and I actually found that I was walking down this alley and I stumbled upon the smallest shop ever and they had the best croissant. I'm not going to say it right. Don't hate me. Right? And then people are like, wait a minute. Rewind. You went to Paris? You went to Paris? Like, when? How did this happen? And so I think that people really feel like you could be a great traveler, and that you keep things really tight to your chest, close to your chest, and you don't let anyone know. You're like, nobody's privy to any of that information. And I don't really know why they would need to be. But I'm going to go ahead, pile number 1, and pull 2 more cards for you simply because I can. So what do people think that you are hiding? Yeah, your travel, your experience, how it has changed you, how it's evolved, how maybe perhaps it's really affected how you think and how you move through life. Yeah. 8 of water. Yeah. And so people think that you're hiding. It's like, what have you left behind? And how is it that you feel a certain way? And what is it that you are moving towards? If that wasn't emotionally satisfying, gratifying, maybe perhaps you have left a really good job. Maybe you left your homeland. Maybe perhaps you have left people behind. Whatever this thing is, maybe you dissolve the marriage, right? And with the 8 of water right here, it really indicates to me that you spent a lot of time measuring each and every cup individually. This is the right temperature, like a mixologist, right? This is the right ingredients. This is the right presentation. And yet you weren't emotionally gratified, and you feel maybe emotionally that you wasted a lot of that time. And therefore you are headed towards, you're walking away towards your 9th cup, which is a wish fulfilled. And people want to know, what is it that you're walking away from? Okay, what have you walked away from? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about, because I keep seeing the train tracks right here. Look at this. You're on the right side of the train tracks, pile number 1. Of course you are. So the wrong side of the train tracks. Maybe it's talking about your history. Maybe you came from the wrong side of the train tracks. Maybe perhaps you have a history of drug abuse or oops, let me bleep that out. But you get the point where you have a history and you've lived a little and you have learned a lot of deep, valuable lessons. And maybe perhaps people are really thinking that you are hiding that. Okay, what else? It's like you don't want to talk about it, you don't want to share about it, or it's not public knowledge. Nosy people. You got nosy people. Pile number 1. All right, what do people think that you're hiding? 8 of fire, a lot of 8s. So 8s to me is cycles. 8s to me is abundance. And the fire right here is the wands. Again, travel. Where are you going? Where are you headed? What are you doing? What sacred vow, what sacred commitment are you making? Are you perhaps going on a spiritual journey? Are you going to an ashram? Are you, selling everything and leaving your life behind in order to really simplify and go and do something like wild? I don't know what would be considered wild, but maybe you work for, what is that called? Something of humanity, where they build houses for people. A Job Corps, is it Job Corps? I don't even know. But they build homes for people and they go to location, things like that. So the 8 of fire definitely, again, cycles, but 8s also indicate to me abundance. So people are really interested and they think that you're hiding, again, travel. Where are you getting the money for this travel, this abundance? What is it that you are chasing? What is it that you are going for? And I'm hearing pink. What about love? What about, so it could be something like that. People really wonder those things. I feel like, people are intimidated and they don't ask you a lot about what they really want to know, which is really quite interesting, because I don't know. It's like you got them scared. Why are they so scared? I don't know. But yeah, these are the things that people are really wondering about. So pile number 1, let me know what you guys think. Much love to you. Until next time, namaste.
Okay.
Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Pile number 3. What do people think you're hiding? People think that you have X-rated energy. Maybe you've been on a hiatus, you've been celibate, or incredibly selective with taking partners. And that's leaving people perplexed or feeling like they can't really connect with you, especially with this day and age where it appears that that's the only way people seem to want to connect. Now, if this is you or if this sounds intriguing, then go ahead and join me for a subsequent reading. And 3, 2, 1. Welcome. If you're new here, I hope that you find something that is helpful, or at the very least, something that is encouraging to you. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, I am so grateful to have you. Again, I know I say it all the time, but honestly, the amount of support, I don't want to get emotional, but I'm so grateful to you. So what do people think you are hiding? Pile number 2. Knowing. Take the first step. take the first step and forest. Seeing the bigger picture. Yeah, it seems to me like perhaps pile number 2, you are coming from a period of like hermitude, solitude, and maybe you're about to launch on a new adventure. Maybe, perhaps you are going within and you're seeing the lay of the land. In other words, and I feel like this is giving you a cue or a clue as to where to head next or how to navigate something. Seeing the bigger picture, right? So this reduces to a 9, but I feel like this is work of 1, right? Because we have the 1, and maybe perhaps you've been really focused on a lot of self-care, or people feel like you have been involved in a lot of self-care. Maybe they think, well, pile number 2, they get massages all the time and they go in deep and they meditate, and I'll bet you they're getting that like that scrub. What is it? That scrub where they scrub you from head to toe. I've been dying to do that, by the way. Scrub you from like head to toe and almost like everything except your eyelids, maybe. They probably even do that. But you know, like your skincare is being routinely taken care of and things like that. Maybe you're taking care of like your breath work and yoga and your body and what it is that you're eating. So I definitely feel like people think that you are hiding your self-care routine and maybe your witchy practices, or maybe you're microdosing mushrooms. I don't know your life, but people are wondering what you do in the privacy of your own home. I would say that, right? People wonder where that you spend the bulk of your time. Where it is that you're getting your peace from? Because something definitely has shifted. Now, with the 8 of 4, seeing the bigger picture, it makes me wonder. It's like, well, what exactly, where are we headed here? Like, I feel like people think that you're hiding your next destination or your next move, your next maneuver, your next thing, right? And it's interesting because I keep looking at this, and it's like we have a shadow of a bird right here too. It's almost like their shadow aspects are being brought out when they start wondering about you in this manner, because some people could actually worry on the negative side, but other people are curious if you're making like, you know, different business moves and things like that. So I'm going to keep it pushing. What do people think that you are hiding? Pile number 2, prosperity. Okay, yeah. It's like, how do you do business? How do you attain your abundance, your prosperity? How do you make your business grow? How do you reinvent yourself? How do you, I'm seeing almost like a business undergo a new grand reopening, that sort of thing. So it could be a reopening of your business and how you brand. Okay, branding, that's what I'm getting. How is it that you rebrand yourself and your business, and with a fresh mindset, fresh attitude, and all of a sudden like everything is different. Your social media is different. And I'm being led to think about Tony the sign guy. See how easy that was for me to think about him, because he is freaking hilarious. If you guys don't know who that is, go look him up. Tony the sign guy. And he takes a lot of things that are, I don't know, I guess caustic, right? He has a caustic sense of humor, and he just kind of says whatever he wants to say, and then he plugs in his product. He's like, you know what? Anyways, so if he doesn't believe somebody, he'll duet somebody that he doesn't believe, for example, or he finds it kind of outrageous, and with his facial expressions, or he'll say a one-liner, almost like, okay, don't hate me, don't cancel me for this, but almost like a Trump vibe, like a one-liner. And then he'll just kind of look at the camera and go, well, and then, okay, this sign right here, you can totally rely upon, you can totally believe. So I don't know, something like that. But I think it's like the delivery and the way that you go about things is very different. Okay, and people are wondering about this. People are wondering who you're collaborating with. And when you're looking at things, this could be like you're looking at the lay of the land, or once upon a time, I have shared with you guys before, for my boss, I stand in for her for a group called B and I. And basically it's like the giver's game. It's meant to really promote businesses and things like that. So you have to be vetted, and then there is, you know, membership and things like that. But there are certain criteria that you have to benchmark. And this person, he would go there and he would tell you, okay, well, this soil on this part of the land is, you know, contaminated with this, and this part is this. And he would let you know exactly what would happen and what is okay to build where, due to the land I don't know, porosity and all the wonderful ingredients and the chemicals or whatever, all the things that I don't know about, okay? So people think that maybe you're throwing in your lot with other people or getting these directives or hiring people in order to really get that perspective. And they're wondering, it's like, when are you going to be up for the new reveal? We want to see the new reveal. And with this new reveal, I feel like not only is it a different mindset, it's a different heart set. It's something that you have like really catered or cared about for a very long time, very near and dear with you. It's almost like she's holding like a lightning bug or a lady, not a ladybug, what do they call it? Firefly. Yeah. So any one of those things could be resonating with you. Now, if none of this resonates, then I'm going to say that perhaps it might not be your reading, but it might simply have to do with like your care and how come you're withdrawn and what is it that you are doing? Are you looking at things with a different perspective because we don't see you anymore? Okay. It could be just as simple as that. Pile number 2, divine guidance. What? Okay. So yeah, we have divine guidance right here. Whispers from the beings who shine, let their message be clear and kind. Hey, kind. We like kindness here. So yeah, I definitely feel like I'm the school of thought that, you know, if you can't be kind, then what are we doing here? What is the point? But I definitely feel like people think that you are hiding even divine messages. And it's like, maybe perhaps because you have kind words and things like that, people are thinking that maybe you have gotten direct hits or messages, especially if you're a reader. You could be a tarot reader. If you are, I am so grateful for you. And also, actually, I forgot to mention, this reading is inspired by Intuitive Rose. I love her channel. So if you love tarot readings, I would suggest you head on over until I said, hey, yes, I love her channel. She is so cute. But the divine guidance right here, people are wondering, it's like, well, do you have any messages for me? Divine guidance for me? Things like that. It's almost like they are wondering, what is it that you were holding back and refraining from that you see in their lives that they can perhaps prosper as well, which is really interesting to me. It's almost like, I don't know. It's almost like somebody has a vision of how to make new businesses or yeah, it's like, or where to buy business or where to put your money in the stock market. And other people feel entitled. They're like, well, tell us too. And it's like, wait, what? Did you do your homework? Did you tune in to Spirit? Did you like, you know, what? I don't know. But it's that kind of vibe. So what do people think that you are hiding? Yeah, that you have higher knowledge about their own lives as well. So you'd be surprised that people around you really, really respect what it is that you are doing, especially if you work with Spirit and you are kind of public about this and you've come out of the closet like I have, right? And it maybe perhaps you've made peace with the fact. And like I always say, well, I've come out of the closet and everybody thinks I'm crazy. Well, too bad. Whatever. It doesn't really make a difference to me. I suppose until people start paying my bills, I don't really care. So there's that. But what do people think that you, pile number 2, are hiding? Here we go. Magical powers. Yeah. Look at you rising out of the phoenix. Out of the phoenix. Gosh. Look at you rising out of the fire like a phoenix is really what was more proper for me to say, right? And it says right here, let's see. And I try to keep my ADD in control because I notice like my audio comes in and out and it really ticks me off. So bear with me while I really try to work with my own, like, you know, I'm trying to see the camera. I'm trying to move away. I'm trying to do all the things. And it causes this, even where I wear my headset and I walk away, the audio fades. I'm like, how is that? What kind of wizard business is this where you have a headset and you move away and it doesn't go with, it doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. Anyways, but yeah, so here we go. I guess I'll read over my phone. I weave and clear, I cast and know, magic secrets to me now show. Yeah, it seems like, again, you have divine guidance, you have divine power, and people really feel this about you, even though I'm going to say, pile number 2, you could have had a whole bunch of people like turn against you, or a whole bunch of people at one time seemingly talk about, oh, well, look at pile number 2 and they're kind of witchy, or you never know what they're going to do, or they're up to, you know, whatever. Once upon a time, I had a boyfriend and I did a session on hypnosis. It wasn't even that big of a deal. And I thought, well, I can hypnotize people at a party. And I thought, okay, well, does anyone want to be hypnotized? And from this party, it became like everybody waited to get hypnotized, and it was kind of wild. It wasn't what I was expecting, and so my boyfriend heard about that like afterwards, and he's like, yeah, she does this mind melting thing, and decided to like do a smear campaign with my reputation. I don't know. It was kind of weird. But I think that people fundamentally know that you have risen from much. So you've risen from the fire, that things have perhaps burnt down around you. I'm hearing around your ears. Maybe you've lost everything, right? Know that people have undergone like really difficult economic situations, myself included. And, you know, a lot of people have lost everything. And some of us have not had anything. So I guess that's good, right? Not much to lose. Hey, we're good. But what do people think that you are hiding? So, jewels. I feel like jewels. People feel like you're hiding jewels because I'm looking at the jewel tone colors right here, and almost like this looks like a jewel as well. And also, I definitely feel I'm looking at how the fire is behaving in the background. All of a sudden, it just caught my attention. And I definitely feel like it's almost like you're hiding not only divine guidance and nuggets of wisdom from people, but people could literally think that you have like family heirlooms, or you have jewelry that you haven't shared with your siblings, or that things were passed down to you from an aunt and it was supposed to go to the children, or at least I think so, and the aunt thinks so, whatever. So whatever it is of great value and great worth that you possess some way, somehow. And so even if you don't have like anything like worldly, like let's say you're having a hard time finding a place to live because the prices are astronomical, or, you know, it's like people think, what are you hiding? Is like you have resources, you have things that maybe you can sell, that you can make things easy for yourself, that you're not really putting out there and that you're not doing because you value, you know, the sentiment of this was my grandmother's ring, for example, or this was, you know, whatever, given to me by so-and-so, and I'm not going to sell it because that's more important. That person is more important. The memory is, and the item is affiliated with that. So I'm not going to pimp out my belongings in order to accommodate like a temporary situation. I don't know. So there is that. But something about a lot of jewels, you bring a lot of richness into people's worlds, and people just think that you're hiding jewels and nuggets, and maybe it's like pearls of wisdom that you're not willing to give out just to anybody. I mean, let me tell you that none of us go and turn on a faucet and walk away and let that water just run and run and run. And the same thing goes with your intuition, with your emotional spiritual gifts, with your powers of observation, with your ability to kind of analyze Rubik's Cube and like maybe even strategize and say, oh, hey, I think this would work better. Maybe perhaps some of you guys have done this in the past, but I feel like you're no longer doing that. And people are a little bit like, hey, hey, pile number 2, do you have anything for me? Do you have like a suggestion? Can you put things in the suggestion box? Because I know, pile number 2, that you're always on the money. So what do people think that you are hiding? Pile number 2, if you are liking these kind of readings, do take a moment to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you've already done so, thank you so very much. You have the 3 of Fire. Wow. 3 of Wands, it's like you're going places, you're exploring, and there's something about you that's very removed at this point in time. Even this flag right here, it's like a 3 of Swords almost. But this to me is like a 3 of Wands. So it almost feels to me like where you're headed towards a destination, but it could be based on something that really hurt you in the past, or like something very transformative that caused you to go within. Right? This hermit energy. And so people are wondering, it's like, well, you're standing outside of the rocket. The rocket is like launched, and how are you going to get back in it? Maybe you got dropped off. We don't know. But they're wondering, what is your next move? And how are you manifesting these things? What are your magical powers all about? And can I be somebody who is involved with that as well? So perhaps pile number 2, you're somebody who really messes with like subliminals, or deep breathing, yoga, I don't know, creative visualization. Any one of those things could be important to you, or just a known fact. And people want to know, it's like, well, who did you listen to, or what? Well, how did this come about? And so on and so forth. So, or maybe you're like a subliminal content creator as well. So like my friend Nicole at Revive Subliminal. So that would be a great one to check it out if you're into that kind of thing. So what do people think that you are hiding? 6 water. It's that joy. It's that playfulness. It's that, it's like you have all these jewels. Let's say you're a jewelry maker and then you're like, I'm just going to kind of create this. I think this would be fun to make and let me do this. And I think maybe you're making rings or earrings or statement pieces or things that you would never have thought that would really fly off the shelves. And all of a sudden it's a really big hit. Another content creator that I was watching, she does this, I forget what they're called, but it's the C-clamp, whatever. And so you would put it on like keychains or whatever you want to hold things together, I guess. And she made one that has like an anatomical heart, and that one of all the things popped off the shelf. And so I really love her content because she's snarky, she is funny, very witty, and she's like, out of all the things that you guys want to buy, you want to buy this. And then she's like, okay, effers. It's back in stock if that's what you want to buy, but just know I have these other things here. And so she shares like her highs and her lows about her business and how she has succeeded and failed with different things. And I think that, being in a place of being very vulnerable or being able to kind of look back at oneself like in a sober manner is very important. It's ethical, I just heard, and maybe perhaps people are starting to see you as somebody who you're very ethical and very moral, but they want to see like your rise and your highs and your lows, your rise and your lows. Like, what is it that burned things to the ground with you, Paul number 2? And what is it that gave you the gumption, the energy, and the spirit to rise again from the fire? So maybe you've had a lot of tower moments. Maybe you are someone like myself. You're like a phoenix. You've risen from many different like situations that literally everything got burnt to the ground and you started from zero, and here we go. So 6 of water, yeah. So I'm going to say that even a lot of people from your past are really inquiring about this. They really want to know, what is it that you are hiding? Because maybe they were privy to your downfall or the destruction of life as you know it. And this can really be a lot of different things. And in danger of getting personal here, but let's do it. When I lost Coco, I feel like and Coco is my dog. Coco Chanel is a boy. I called him Naughty Paws. That's all you really need to know about him. But he was my familiar for 16 years. Love him. And he recently crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. And so I feel like with that sort of like unraveled a link that I had psychologically, mentally, emotionally to a past of when I was a mom. And it's not that I'm not a mom now, but I'm not with my child, making sure he's getting to school, making sure he's, I'm not in an active raising a child any longer. And so that chapter for me, even though it's been closed, I feel like the representation, the security blanket, that we shared this in common when Coco crossed over, that was a part of my life that really came glaringly real. It's like that was my last link to my old life. And so you could have many things like that. And people are wondering, it's like, what is it that you're hiding? What is it that's going on with you? We want to be privy to these things because it's really deep. So that is what I have for you. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste. Hi friends, my name is Chriselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 3, what do people think you're hiding? Nostalgia, reverence. You're devoted to a spiritual growth or path or practice. You perhaps could be a gardener, or you're simply communing with nature at the moment. People think that you are distant and you're removed, or they wonder what's beneath your polished exterior. Now, I definitely feel like this for you has been a change. And pile number 3, if this is you or if this sounds delightfully chaotic, join me for the reading. Welcome, welcome. If you're new here, I hope that you find something that is helpful or encouraging. And for those of you guys that are indeed my repeat offenders, thank you so very much for being here. I really do appreciate each and every one of you and your kindness. Pile number 3. What do people think that you are hiding? High Priestess, leadership. What? She's kind of spooky. I'm here for it. Look at that. You're all, yep, that's me. Maybe perhaps that you're into like sacred geometry, that you understand a lot more than you convey. And let's see what else we have here. Broken branch, heartache. Maybe perhaps pile number 3, you are somebody that really can get into the nitty gritty. You can understand psychology to the point where you bring it into focus. Yeah. Hello. I don't know if that's focused because my face is too close to my camera. Okay, I hope so. But maybe you can bring it to the forefront and you help people. I'm getting like therapist vibes, friend therapist. I'm getting like the granddad of the group, the parent of the group, the one that's like, oh, make sure you drink your water if we're going out clubbing. Make sure, people still do that, by the way. Make sure that you're drinking your water, making sure that you know, for every drink you have this amount of water, or nope, we came together, we're leaving together. That's just how it is. If you feel differently tomorrow, you can contact that person later. You just met them. So I definitely feel like you could be healer, even with that hand and all of the powers coming through right here. That is really cool. And people think that you have this hidden knowledge that when you step in and go, yeah, we're not doing that, that you understand, or you have an intuition, right, of a reason why that should not be done, or it should be done a different way. Now, you could have gray hair, silver hair. You could be older. Doesn't make a difference. You could be very flexible. You could be a yogi. You could be into meditation. I'm hearing tantric. What is that? Tantric dance. That could be a thing for you. Never tried it, but I'm interested. And okay, and then maybe even tantric sex, that could be a thing for you as well. Yeah, and that I noticed also, like, my downloads, which I haven't filmed yet because of the structure of how I'm doing my readings as of right now. Could change tomorrow, of course. They were very sexually oriented, right? And I didn't get a ton of that energy. I was a little bit worried because I don't want to start reading smut, even though it's fun. I'm not really quite there in doing that on this channel just yet. So anyways, why'd I have to tell you that? Because we're besties now. Broken branch. Yeah, with heartache. I definitely feel like you could be the one that, with this leadership role, people look towards you to lead because you have had a lot of experience. Because maybe even with a branch, like when I think about trees, I think about, excuse me, Crystal, use your words. I think about like family lines, family tree, genealogy. I think about things that have been long-standing, or things that need to be pruned, or things that have been pruned, things that have perhaps caused headaches within your own family lineage and things like that. And I feel also, pile number 3, that you could be really privy to a lot of information like that can help people out. And so I feel like what people think that you are hiding perhaps is like maybe the reason why you pruned your own family tree, your own branch, or why you were pruned. Like, let's say that you are the outcast of the family, the black sheep, and you finally decided, okay, well, black sheep, I guess black sheep is going to do black sheep things and be happy all by the black sheep self, you know? And it could be that kind of mindset where you just removed yourself in the focus of, so that they have to figure out somebody else to hate and pick on and, prop to become the next person that has a downfall because of family habits or whatever. It could be that. So anyways, broken branch with heartache, and I heard deep heartache actually. So I feel like you could be somebody who's very familiar with a lot of pain, and maybe your heart chakra has been long blocked, or maybe perhaps, people think, what do people think you're hiding is maybe that you're hiding a lot of pain that you don't really discuss, so you don't talk about it. And this could be on a romantic level. This could be on a platonic level. So it could be friendships. It could be, romance again. It could be whatever. But whatever this is, people want to be privy to it. Now, that's what it is. I'm hearing bad bitch. So you're a bad bitch. Okay. So even if you're a guy, okay, we read energy and not sex right here. I definitely feel like you could have an exterior that you're just like tough. You're like, you know what, we're going to do it. And this is how we're going to do it. And you could affect a lot of change in people's lives, especially when it comes to like brokenhearted. Now, all of a sudden that Bible verse comes up that says like, oh gosh, I'm going to get it wrong, but here we go. Something like how God is close to brokenhearted. And so I definitely feel like you could have vibes like that, to where you are somebody that is close to brokenhearted. Why? Because you yourself have been very brokenhearted at different stages in your life. And so you could have a tie to pile number 2, by the way, only if you're interested in that. Don't go watching it just for the heck of. If you don't feel led to it, there's no point in that, right? But what do people think that you are hiding? Something about your tree branches. I'm like, ooh, that was so deep. Let's get into it right here. Pile number 3, trust. Okay. Maybe, that you know, if you have been involved in a narcissistic family, or if you have that, or if you have like chemical dependencies, or if you have mental health issues, like, or if you come from family lineage where, let's say, they were all, you know, high priestesses, and they dabbled in the dark arts, and you're not about that life, because that would be my story. I'm not about that life. And it could be that you just decided, you know, you've heard a lot, you've seen a lot, and I don't want to get too much into this, but for example, in my family, you know, I've had my grandmother's sisters, one of them, Gabby, she wound up, you know, being in a wheelchair, and not all it was, but it was due to an entierro. We talk about, it's witchcraft basically. So if you know, you know. And so maybe perhaps this has a lot to do with like trust issues and family issues, and people think that you are hiding maybe even a legacy of that, or the reason why they want to know, like, why don't you trust? Why don't you trust easily? Why are the broken branches broken? Like, what really happened? They don't understand it. Maybe they don't come from a culture like that, to where none of that like makes sense. All of that is just simply movie stuff, and they don't believe in it. And so they want to know a little bit more about like your psychology and mindset, because it seems like you're really resilient, and you're balanced, and you're like very intuitive, and you have great leadership qualities, and you're not afraid of change, by the way, with the number 14 reducing to a 5. So 9, 10, 11, but that is a master number I did count on camera. You are so very welcome. Pile number 3. With all of this like nebulous, mysterious stuff, you could have a little bit like a gothy vibe, emo vibe, mysterious vibe. You definitely don't put things out there for everyone to view. And I mean, like, hello, why would you? Just because you're in the era of social media where people think that they need to put their business out there 24/7, that's not you. So what do people think you are hiding? Ace of Earth. Okay, maybe that you've experienced money loss. Are these all reversed? Because I ain't taking that. Nope, they're not. Okay, good. Maybe that you experienced money loss, and they want to know. It's like, well, did you plan something that just didn't come to be? That, like, you spent your time, energy, and effort into this project, and it didn't pan out for you. And so people really want to know, why didn't it pan out for you? What went wrong? Like, and how is it that if you're indeed a high priestess, how is it that you're going to invest in something that doesn't work for you? I'm going to give you the answer to that, pile number 3, because you're probably going to be hit with questions like this, or you ask yourself that. It's like Spirit allows us to undergo and take on projects that are perhaps not meant for us, not to harm us, not to plot our demise, not to waste your time. That's my first thought, by the way. But definitely for us to learn different kinds of lessons. And it's really up to us how fertile our minds and our hearts are in order to really integrate those lessons into our lives. That way, not only can we like dodge, bob, and weave future things like that, but we learn from those lessons, and we can pass those on to other people that we care about, love, or, yes, hire us, right? If we're somebody who does readings. I digress. Moving on. So what do people think that you are hiding? Pile number 3. Playfulness. Oh my gosh. I'm like, oh my gosh. That you have a playful side. People think that you have People think that you have a playful side. And then I'm noticing this. I'm like, why does that look like what is going on here? Listen, there was a lot of spectral energy during my initial channeling. Wow, maybe some of you guys stutter, but people are wondering what is like to, you know, for you to be in the boudoir. What are you into? Things like that. I'm not going to get too into it, but I think this is one of the mushrooms that can be very deadly, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it's like, what? People are like, well, what are you into? Because I know you'd be kinky like that. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. All right. So, and I feel like people fall for you. People fall for your charm. I look at, like, she's even smiling right here, sitting on that beautiful mushroom. And it's like, well, come play with me. Come. And people are like, whoa, I don't know. I think I might get burned here. Caution, but I can't stay away. They're like compelled. They're magnetized. You are drawing them. Okay. It's almost like they can't say no. Their brain can certainly not say no. You could definitely be the object of a lot of people's fantasies. So people think that you are hiding an incredibly steamy, I don't want to say dark sex life, but here we go. I just said it. Yeah. And pile number 3, if you were indeed liking these kind of readings, please do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. I would really be so grateful if you did. And if you have, then thank you. Yay. So what do people think that you were hiding? Power. Wow. With leadership and power. Now, it's interesting because I feel like you could be very poised, very regal. When I think about this, I think regality. I think poise. I think, of course, like, you know, chesticles could be a big thing with you. Maybe you're very well endowed, and people are like, yeah, you're hiding those because in the U.S. anyways, it's not proper to be walking around without a shirt, but we're definitely curious. Even for our guy gents, we're curious as to like what's going on. Like, let's see your chest. We just be thinking about stuff. Anyways. But yeah, you have a lot of power, and you have the power to subdue things that are wild, that appear to be feral, that appear to be, hey, don't mess with that. Otherwise, you're going to get clawed, scratched, or eaten up for a snack, okay? People could actually view you as a snack. Also, I'm getting that no matter what you wear, you just have so much class. It is worn like an energy, I don't know. It's like an energy around you. It's like your aura is complete with like luxury and poise and regality. And people, I feel like they turn their head. It's like I whip my head around. Wasn't that like Will Smith's daughter? Forget her name. Forget that name. I don't know. Jada Smith. Anyways, yeah, but something about like the sundial. So you could have, yeah, a lot going on in your brain, in your head. And I feel like people are really thinking that you hide a lot within your mind. And then with the dark wings, I think that they pop and contrast. It's almost like you have a lot of contrast to you, to your life, to your thoughts, the way you navigate things, the way you do things. And people want to be privy to those things as well. People want to know, what do you do in your time off? People want to do they want to know, like, how do you subdue how do you like force people to submit to you? Like your will, your ideas, your notions, like how do you do that? How do you do that thing, you know? And I feel like a lot of people, if you're feminine here, they want to know how to become more feminine. Like they want to be more like you. So they could adopt your mannerisms, your cadence, the way that you talk, your tonality, the way that you pause, or the way that you even kind of incline your head to look at people. That could be a thing. So keep in mind, like, I feel like confidence is really in the subtleties, and I think that you can come across like very confident like this, okay? But at times I do feel like you could be hilariously playful, and people are a little bit shooketh by that. Okay, Spirit says, moving on. The witch, yeah. Look at that. I mean, if that doesn't like coincide with the high priestess and the traditional tarot, right, where we have the pillars, positive and negative polarities going on here, very dualistic and very much like I'm in this dark world, I'm in this light world, and I can make them both come to fruition by marrying them. So you have an ability to be in your very masculine energy, but you also have this ability to be in your very feminine energy. Again, we read energy, not sex here. And it's very beautiful to watch because I feel like in our society that could be demonized easily, right? Depending on what the flavor of the media is of the year. So with a witch right here, yeah, witchy vibes. You're giving witchy vibes. You're giving, do you practice sorcery? Do you have me under a spell? I definitely feel also, what do people think that you're hiding is maybe perhaps that you, people think that you have put them under a spell, that like they can't sleep. Is it like, how come I keep thinking about pile number 3 and I can't get my brain out of that, and so on. And people like wonder, what is it that you have done to me because I can't stop thinking about you? Did you put me in a honey jar? Did you, you know, I don't know, do some kind of ritual? Do you have an altar with my face on it? So they get a little bit worried, a little bit perturbed by this, but most of all, they're intrigued. So pile number 3, what do people think that you are hiding? The Death card. What is it that you're not letting go? Because it was reversed, right? What is it that you're not letting go? What is it that, yeah, your intuition is popping, by the way. And things are being born in the middle of the night, I feel. Yeah, especially with it's like this creature, the sugar skull right here, taking care of that figure. It's almost like a very ancient figure laying down, like one of those things that you would see in a museum, let's say, right? But this does have to do with your roots. This does have to do with your roots. And they want to know, it's like, what is it that you are taking care of in your heart, in your soul, that you've not quite let go of? Because it seems to me that it's very alluring, very dark, very drawing. And we want to comprehend this. We want to understand it. What is it that you've not laid to rest? And I feel like with this moth, it is birth. It is very much like like we consider the butterfly. Oh, the butterfly is so beautiful. They're so, they tell a tale of like, transmuting and fighting against a cocoon and growing and stretching. And it takes so long to be able to get out of that cocoon. And all of a sudden you have your beautiful moth, right? But we don't talk about those things in that way. And so it's almost like people want to know, what is it that you do in your own time under cover of darkness, or things that you do not speak upon. What I feel like a lot of this has to do with not only like your downloads with sacred geometry, but how you integrate things into your life. And you call it like, well, this is good enough. If you're not part of the family, then I still have my family roots, my family tree, obviously genealogy. Some things we just can't change, but I feel like you're efficient at transmuting things and making it work for you in a manner perhaps that could be disapproved of by other people. Like maybe people could say, well, you have to have a coven for that, or you have to whatever, but you've gone on and you're like, you know what, I'm collecting things in my garden. You mind your own freaking business. I'm going to, look at this hyssop right over here, and I'm going to collect this. And I don't know what fenugreek is coming to mind. Maybe some of you guys are herbal masters or herbalists and things like that, and you do tinctures for friends, family, or you actually sell them for other people like me who would not have an idea how to do that. So whatever this is, people are really interested in like your hobbies, your private time, wink, wink, right? So that's what I have. Let me know what you guys think. Until next time, namaste.